right, we got a different kind of video for you today. I'm going to be going over a new expansion and a new play series instrument. And these ones are geared towards UK drill. And I don't really make that kind of music, but I can look at pretty much any genre of hip hop and appreciate what's going on. I can learn from it, and then I can also use some of those kinds of elements in my own production when I'm making my own kind of music. So what I'm going to show you in this video is some of the sounds, and then I've just got a piece of music that I've started with it. We're going to work on it and just go over some of the intricacies of things like the play instrument, and then also just look at some of the sounds, but then also some of the production stuff, production tips that you can do with the expansion and with the play series instrument. A lot of you might be watching this in the future when you've got an expansion sale on, or maybe this is in a future version of Complete, and you're looking back at these old videos to decide if, you know, these expansions are going to push you over the edge of getting the next version of Complete. I don't get paid to make the videos, but I do get the software for free. I have affiliate links, but I don't want you buying anything that you don't need. So this one, I'm going to show you some of the kits and show you some of the sounds, but really just show you some of the production tips that you can use with this, whether you're making UK drill music or not. So far, what I've got in here is just a little verse and a chorus idea, and we'll play over those at the end of the video. You might have heard a little sneak peek at the beginning here. So the first thing that's really important about UK drill is the bass and these kind of sliding 808 basses. And both the expansion and the play series instrument have some really fantastic basses in it. Really, it works for any genre of music. So I found the bass in this Caramello kit, and it's just one sound that I took from that kit, copied it over onto its own group. So that's what I've got there for the bass. And I love this bass sound because it's just a sample. Like, there's nothing fancy with it. It's a sampler. Next thing I've got is the Shine On kit. We're going to play around with this just a little bit in a second. Let's have a listen just to that one. Okay, so all I did with this one was play it in, I think. And then I added those little rims, those kind of repeating patterns. And all I did for that was go over to the note repeat. So you press down note repeat, and if you don't have it locked by pressing note repeat and this button up top, then you can have it so that when you hold it down, it pops in, and then you take it off and it disappears. So I've got it on note repeat right now. And then what I've got it set to is 1/32. And by the way, if you want to use the loops of this expansion, then you're probably going to want to stick somewhere around 135 beats per minute, 140, 150, 120, something like that. And really, this drill thing is all about a half time. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4. But our metronome is going 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I put the metronome on, right? So make sure you get your projects at the right tempo or the right BPM. It's not the end of the world if you don't. If you started at like 65 or something like that, it wouldn't matter. You could get away with it. You just have to go and double the speed on things like loops. So with my note repeat, I hold down note repeat. I've got it set to a 30-second. And I get those really fast, stuttery drum effects. Let's put on something else. Let's find another sound. I'm not going to use that one at all. So let's go over to the browser. Let's try percussion. That's kind of fun. Let's go with that one. Now I'm just going to add a couple more little stuttery things at the end of this loop. And don't forget, when you hold note repeat down, so you can hold it down, push it in, press it lighter, and it goes softer. So I could even go like this. Look at that, I get like a nice little ramp in there. So then the other thing I'm going to do with these ones is go over to my mixer and pan these. So 4D encoder down. So this rim, maybe we'll pan that one a bit to the left. And then maybe I'll pan my hi-hats too, just a little. Okay, so next I've got the flame pad, and this is just a patch for the polysynth in the expansion. So this isn't from Deft lines, the play instrument, just yet. But let's just have a listen to what this one's doing. Really nice, simple pad patch. And this is going to work as well on Machine Plus, of course. And so I've just got something played in there. We've got this little Deft lines patch. And then next we've got this Drip-a-Rimba. Let's have a listen to this one. And when I first loaded it up, it was different. And I'll show you from scratch what that looked like. So let's go load up Contact, and then we'll go to, I think it was under Mallet. So you can see all the different types of patches that we've got in this Play Series instrument. And by the way, I've got a detailed video, Lo-Fi Glow, on Play Series instruments. Make sure you go check that one out. It's got very similar sounds too, so you'll probably dig them. And, but yeah, going over all of the kinds of ins and outs of these instruments, because they're all the same. Once you know one, then you know them all. Okay, so this is where it started. So let me show you how I got to where I did. And I should have mentioned earlier that when I was on the bass, when I was playing the bass line, I kept it to a B-flat Dorian mode. And I've talked about modes a lot in my past videos, but the Dorian mode's really interesting because it has kind of a minor sound with a bit of a major lift at the end of it, to quote a song. So here's the Dorian mode. Hear that one note? Makes it sound kind of major at the end, or positive or something like that. So if I go over to the sequencer in the Play Series instruments, this applies to all of them. I hold down a middle C right now. And you can see the sequencer is going through the steps that it's got listed. But first thing I'm going to do is change the steps. I'm going to crank this up to 16 steps. I'm going to change the root key to B flat or A sharp. And then I'm going to set the scale to Dorian. And this is going to work across the board. You can set your scale mode on machine to Dorian, or your scale, say on your bass patch, whatever, you set it to Dorian, you set it to the root that you want, and then you come over to the Play Series instrument, and even if you don't play keyboards, you can now set the root key to A sharp or B flat, the same thing, the Dorian scale. And now, whatever you have your little steps in your sequencer set to, it's going to move them up or down to the closest note in the B flat Dorian scale. So you can kind of go a little crazy here with the notes, knowing that everything is going to stay in the right key, which is really cool. I need to set my direction first off to forward, so it just goes forward and it starts back over. And then I've got first step right now set to 5, so let's change that to 1. So now it starts on the first note. And then I can start playing around with this. Do whatever I want in terms of changes, and you can kind of go in any direction here. Even if you're not a musician, you can try some different stuff out, and you're going to get something that snaps to this key or this mode of B flat Dorian. And then now I'm going to go over to my Drip-a-Rimba. This is the sequence I made before. You can see I got rid of some notes too. Drop the velocity all the way down, and then you lose the note just on that one spot. I've got that played in there. I'm going to go to this slices group that I've made that has nothing on it yet. I'm going to go to sampling, or I press sampling right here, and I want to record this for 2 bars. So just 2 bars, that's going to get my whole 16-step sequence. And then I'm going to change the source here to internal, and then make sure it's set to receive audio from E1 only. So I scroll all the way down until I get to Drip-a-Rimba right there. I can take either one because that's the only thing on that group. And now it's going to record the sound of this Drip-a-Rimba onto a fresh slot on a different group so that I can mangle it and play around with it. And then I can just mute this one. You could do it on the same group if you want on a different sound slot. But let's go record this now. So I'm going to press start, and then I start my song. Actually, you know what I should do first? I should normalize this because it's pretty quiet. So I'll go normalize, apply, and then I'm going to go slice. You notice how there's not a lot of groove in or swing in this genre of music, and so we don't have to worry about where my slices go. I can pretty much set the grid here, or go to split and set it to 16 slices. And now you can see pretty much everything is lining up with the grid. There are a few slices that I might want to mess with after. So let's go apply, and then we're going to put that one onto the slices group and hit OK. So now I'm going to get out of there. Go to pad mode. I'm going to go to colors of the sound right here. And I'm going to leave the loud notes dark red. This one's soft, so I'm going to go make that orange. 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 That's it. Oh, that didn't work very well. And I'm going to set them to light orange. Okay. So now I've got dark red for all of the samples that I know are going to give me a nice strong hit. And I'm just going to play around with this for a bit until I come up with a pattern that I like that is more interesting than the sequence that I had to begin with. Okay, and then another thing I should mention, I'm going to select all of these and I'm going to set them to ADSR. That way I can use note repeat. If I don't do that with note repeat on, watch what happens when I go to one shot. It's a distortion because there's so many samples being triggered. So I'm going to set them to ADSR. Now I can play around with that one note repeat as well. Then I could also do something crazy with that if I want, just make this even more interesting. I could go to my mixer and start panning each of these samples differently. So select none. Okay, that's working pretty good. That's my little sample and slice and chop and tips for you there with this expansion, and also playing around with the sequencer in the Play series instrument, which is pretty cool. Okay, I've got another kit that comes in on the chorus. Let's just have a listen to that one, just kind of beefs things up. And all I did was pretty lazy. If I had more time, of course, I would actually go and make a new beat that's kind of more interesting for the chorus. But all I did was copy the verse beat over to this new kit, this Tonka kit, and then changed a couple sounds around. And so that's the Tonka kit. The kits do sound very similar. I'm sure there's going to be some great videos. Make sure you go check out Bo Tyler, I know is working on a video right now, so I'll put a link to his video in the description. But go check his video because he's probably going to go over a lot of the sounds in here and a lot of the different kits. And I'm not really doing a ton of that here, just showing you more of what you can do with it. So those are my percussion loops. I'll show you what kind of stuff you do have in here if we go over to loops, and we're in the percussion already. Oh, I like that one. And just to give you an idea of the drum loops that we've got in here, let's go over to drums. So you got your low end, you add your hats and stuff on top. So you see what I mean? Extremely minimal loops, which is cool for the genre. But okay, so I've also got a piano in here. And I've also got this lead, a couple of lead sounds, just to show you some of the synth sounds that come with Deft lines. And if I click on the browser, you can see the amount of patches that come with this instrument. And the Play Series instruments never have a ton of patches. That's something that you'll notice. Of course, you can go in and make all of your own patches, but in terms of presets, there's probably like maybe 100 and something in here. And go to instruments. We can see exactly how many there are. So I'm going to go to Deft lines, all types, 150 basically, 149 different patches. So there you go. The essential things for this genre would be the basses and then the synths and maybe some of these plucky sounds as well. So they've got some really customized patches for this genre. Again, if that's your thing, you're going to like the sounds in here. Got a lead sound. Sound seems kind of characteristic of drill music for sure. Right here, so we can crank up the drive. And then the tone. And then let's have a listen to this one right here. I want to make my pitch bend a little bit more aggressive. So I'm going to go change the way my pitch bend works. So it's not just a whole tone, but is a full octave. So I'm going to click on the little gear icon. And let's go bend up, go 12 semitones, and bend down 12 semitones. So let's go over to Song View, and I am going to drop in those two little sections. Let's go right click, and we're going to insert the verse here at the beginning, and then we're going to insert the chorus over here at the end. And then maybe we'll just go back to the verse to sort of play it out. There you go. Hopefully that helps you make a decision on whether this one's right for you right now, whether you wait for it for a future upgrade or something like that. So make sure you check out the links in the description. I'll make sure I put other people who are making videos on this expansion for you to check out and show some support to all of those who are also working so hard to show you what this software looks like. Thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button and the bell if you're new here, and we'll see you in the next video.